You know what time it is? It's Let's Get Real's review week of August 4th, of course. And mind the hair because Barber told me about 2.5 hours before that he was gone. So let's go ahead and just dive right into this. So this week in review, as you've seen the shorts, we're gonna talk about pump and dump, TikTok layoffs, and why those pose threats to both employers and employees. And then a new one that just dropped. Actually, I'm filming this on Friday the 8th, and this one just came out. And just listen to the title of this. Iowa Doge floats performance-based pay for teachers and eliminating IPERS for new state hires. Mind-boggling shit. We're going to get into those. We're going to go through them. We're also going to have you a little bit of action step and telling you, from my opinion, of what you should do to either benefit your life or avoid these crazy situations. First up, pump and dump. Yeah, well, I know you probably shouldn't Google that. You never know what you'll find. However, in the financial world, a pump and dump is essentially this, right? There is a stock that a group of people are going to put a bunch of cash in, market it, hype it up, say all these things in the media to pump a lot of stuff into it. Since they hold the majority of the shares, as soon as it gets to the price point that they want, they then dump it, right? Meaning that they sell all of their shares out, which then drops the stock and dumps it. And you will be there holding the bag. For example, say, well, the one article we're talking about from TradingView is OST, Austin Technology Group. Not like you're going to know it, but it's a small Chinese electronics company. Started the day at around 55 cents. They pumped it up. They got it to run all the way to about $9.40. Those people then, whoever they are, the fraudsters, would have sold their stock, and it came all the way back down to roughly around 55 cents, about 93%. So what that means is now you are stuck holding the bag at about $9.40 or $9 or $8 or whatever. And it has dropped so low that you're not going to see your money back. Now, why do we bring this up? Well, we're in a day and age that there's a lot of meme stocks. And there's a lot of investigation going on, these pump and dumps that are happening. This one specifically is investigated by the FBI and has been found to be an actual pump and dump. And you will see things come out about who's going to, whether it's prison or owe a bunch of money because of this. But ultimately, this is why the meme stock craze, the Reddit stock craze, those things that when you see a stock flying at 100% a day, 20%, 30%, and they're just keep going, you need to be worried and wary about, is this a pump and dump? Is this not a pump and dump? Okay. So if you like these stocks or you want to get involved, have an exit strategy and an exit plan. Understand? So this is my opinion piece about this article. Have always an exit strategy. So if I wanted to get involved with this and I'm like, oh, awesome. This is something I want to get involved with. It's going crazy. Whatever I purchase it at, I want to make sure I know where my profit is. So if we'll use easy math, if this is a $10 or $1 a share type stock and I get in at $1, I know at $1.25, I want to make sure I pull my profit out, or I set my stop loss at $1.25. So if it goes higher, I can sell it for much more if I want to, or if it comes back down to $1.25 or $1.24, then I'm automatically going to put that trade in and sell it and lock in my profit. Other side of that coin, if I do get in and it is the high and it is at $1, I want to also set my stop loss for the other side of it. So if I know whatever this is, I don't want to go down more than 10% and I get in at $1, I'm going to set my stop loss at 90 cents. So no matter what happens, I'm going to get filled at 90 cents. Now, there's some caveat to that because trading's crazy. It's all about liquidity and your ability to get out. However, you still need a plan. I need a plan for profit and I need a plan for loss so you don't end up holding the bag. Next article of the week for review, written by the Financial Times, and that is TikTok layoff videos pose risk for posters, for posters and employers, or employees and employers. So this is a double-edged sword with social media, right? It's great for marketing. It could be huge for publicity, all of those things, but also has the negative effect. And that's what's happening when it comes to these layoff videos. It's doing two things. It's telling everyone about the culture of whatever company, the business that's going in. It's providing that transparency, but that's also a bad thing. Why are they letting people off? Why is their culture like this? Why are they in decline, right? So now no one would want to work for them. or less people would want to work for them. Flip side of that too, for the employee who posted, employers don't want to hire someone who's just going to make these videos and show the insides of their business. And now you pose a threat to not getting hired because they don't want that. Double-edged sword. I'm all for transparency. So let me start there. I love the transparency. However, you got to be smart about protecting yourself. So my opinion on this is you do you, boo-boo. Hey, you do you. If you want to film and talk about the layoffs and everything, you go ahead and do so. But make sure that you also talk about who you are as an employee, what you look for, and why you're doing this one-time video or this one-off video. That you are not the person that's always going to air everything, but are trying to do the right thing for others, even in your shitty situation. Employers, I wouldn't necessarily look at one of these videos as, cringe or the wrong thing to do. I would try to ask more questions if that person is coming to me now. So if I was going to go hire her, the one who filmed this, I would ask more about it and figure it out, because that's more important than the end of the day of just writing people off. The final article of the week to review, and this thing, I tell you what, this one, watching, just drinking some coffee, scrolling, doing my thing, because this is how I come up with these things, and this thing popped up. I got so viscerally mad for all of the teachers that I know that are trying their damnedest and their hardest to do what is best for these kids, when one, I know Iowa specifically is really bad in education and doesn't support their teachers to the degree which I think they should, let alone the United States not doing so. To have this article pop up and explain that the DOGE task force is floating around ideas to make teachers be on a performance-based and cutting their benefits, not gonna happen. So whoever you are, task force member Terry Lutz, by the way, knock this shit off, because everyone's going to vote against this. There's no way that this should go through. Granted, where we live in the United States currently right now, this shit actually might go through, but let's dive into what they're talking about. Okay. They're currently talking about the fact that Iowa has increased the spending K through 12 over time, but still ranks nationally like in the middle of the pack, like the lower end to the middle of the pack. So he's basically saying we're putting all this money in, which is not a big number, by the way. They've just increased spending, not to the level they need to. He's saying, hey, we're putting all this money in and we're still in the middle of the pack. What's the point? Let's cut costs and make the teachers perform, and then that way, or hopefully our grades and stuff go up. So they recommend a pay for performance, and how they say this would work would be based upon the students' outcomes in the standardized testing and test results, which, by the way, standardized testing has its own issues, and we already know all about that, right? That is a whole other topic. We should get down that rabbit hole at some point. However, this one would compare the dollars spent with the students' achievements, both teachers and administrators. You think about that. Kid doesn't want to show up. Kid has a bad attitude. Kid has a terrible family situation at home. Maybe they're homeless. You name the issues that also go into the performance of a child, let alone that they're in school for 8.5 hours. They're told that they have to go to this many days. The teachers have to slow play their education because they have to put those hours in. So you're telling me a broken system that already doesn't pay teachers enough, doesn't allow them enough money to have the resources to improve the students' performance, now is going to be held to a standard that their pay is based on performance? Get the fuck out of here, please. Thank you. The other part of it, they were talking about, said some state jobs have healthcare and retirement benefits that far exceed the private sector. Because it's not the private sector, dummy. This isn't private. We're not making schools private, right? So he's actually talking about getting rid of IPERS, by the way. That is the state pension plan. For all those others out there, every state really has a pension plan for their public employees, specifically teachers. He's saying to cut that and get rid of it entirely. Because apparently the state of Iowa contributes nearly 70% of the employee's retirement plan. And he wants to flip that to where a majority of it comes from the employee. So the same teacher that you don't pay enough money, you now want to take more money out of their pocket to put for their retirement, that you're going to actually do a pay for performance and not give them the right. You see where I'm going with this? Okay. This is absolutely asinine. And absolutely ridiculous. The task force is facing a September 29th deadline to deliver its final recommendations to the governor. By the way, the governor that's on her way out, as she should be, tucking her tail and running a little bit. So we'll have another update around this, but that's just the tip of the iceberg for these recommendations. And it's absolutely asinine. And this is one that I will follow till the end of time. But you should go check out this article because it's in there. So overall, the week of August 4th, some shit happened. Some things happened. I know we're over our 10-minute mark, but one, make sure you're watching yourself. You have a plan for any pump and dump situations that are going on. Two, if you're a teacher, let's stand up, let's fight, let's do what's right. If you're not, let's stand up and do what's right for our teachers as well. So that's the end of this week. Look forward to next week. Stay tuned.